Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2. The third time in a row that Tottenham lead and lose. They become only the fifth team in English football history to lead 3 games running and to lose all of those league games on the bounce. Villa had a very good second half, there's no doubt about it, but Spurs should have been home and dry in that first half. That first 45 minutes, the football was liquid. It was fast-paced. It was energetic. The injuries played no part in them not being able to cut a team open. The lack of clinical edge, straying offside, not being disciplined enough, not being able to catch out that very, very good line of Aston Villa played a big part in this. But for me, where this went wrong is with the manager's tactics. And let me explain that to you. Tactics and style of football are not necessarily the same thing. When I say tactics, I felt Tottenham, again, this is hindsight, and that's what a match review is. You look back and say, why didn't it work? Spurs played with too much gusto, too much aggression. They used too much energy too early in this game, in my personal opinion. It got to 45 minutes, and look, they conceded a goal, which they should have done better with, but it was a brilliant cross from Douglas Luiz, an excellent header from Pau Torres. In the second half, though, they looked tired. They looked not unfit, but they looked exhausted. They looked jaded in that second half. And I believe it's because of the level of energy they used in the first half of the game. Now, we've seen this before in the Premier League, and we saw this when Jurgen Klopp first came in. And Liverpool played at 100 miles an hour, heavy metal football, and they would often get to 60th minute, 70th minute, and start to fade. And what you have seen today is a repeat of that in many ways. And I think that the style of football is a breath of fresh air. I've got so much time stylistically for what Postecoglou is doing. And I understand his mantra of just play your way. Just play your way. But this is about game management, not style of play. So you'll get a lot of this. If you're a Spurs fan and you agree with me, if you're a rival and you agree with me, what you'll get online is, no, you shouldn't yield on your principles. Play your style of football. You can do that, but game management is very different. Spurs have to know when to take their foot off the pedal. They used so much energy trying to put this game to bed, and they didn't do it. Then they were tired. This happens in other sports. You get fighters that will sometimes throw everything they've got in the first 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds in boxing, maybe the first couple of rounds in MMA. And then as the fight goes on, fatigue sets in. They become jaded. They find it much harder to be able to create the quality of chances. But more importantly, it wasn't even chance creation that faded somewhat. It was getting back into shape. And I've said this for many years. Whenever I praise Pep, whenever I praise Klopp, yes, their teams play fantastic football. But the element of their team, the element of their style of play, the piece of their philosophy, which I think is the absolute best, is how quickly they get back into shape when they fall out of possession. And as you got to the 50th, the 60th, the 70th minute, Spurs struggled with that. They were not running back with as much gusto. They were not running back with as much, I wouldn't use the word passion, but they weren't running back with as much energy. And that's because they'd exhausted it all trying to win the game. So I think one thing that Postecoglou has got to learn to do is, yes, play the style of football he does, because it's beautiful. And I'm not going to lie, that first 45 minutes was some of the best football we've seen all season. But I was sitting here, and I don't do watch-alongs, but I was sitting and I made a note, they will tire. They will tire. And it's why when you've watched football as long as I have, I've seen many games like today, and normally there's a saying, it's going to be 1-0 to the opponents when you don't finish your chances. This was the same difference being 2-1. This was a Spurs team that played excellent football, but it was poor game management from Ange Postecoglou today. The team burned out. Villa took advantage of that, and it's 3 defeats on the bounce, which, as I say, only 5 teams in the history of English football, 130 years, have done that. It is not a good look in any way, shape, or form. Do I think having all their unfit players back would help? Of course it would. But when it comes down to where Tottenham profess to want to be, at the top of the table challenging for titles, that type of game management is very, very key indeed. Stylistically, it's there. We know they need better players, but they have to manage these games better as well. In terms of the league table, let's take a look at it. Arsenal, as we can see, sitting top of the pile. Spurs now down to 5th, 4 points off of the top. Their next game, Tottenham, away to Manchester City. So depending upon how well Tottenham do away at City, depending on how well Arsenal play against Wolverhampton Wanderers, they could find themselves potentially 7 points off of the top. And if the likes of Villa and Liverpool and City obviously playing them win and Arsenal win, they could find themselves suddenly 5 points away from the top 4. So it's a very important game next for Tottenham against Manchester City. I want to get your take. I want to get your thoughts. I want to get your feelings on this, ladies and gentlemen. Leave your comments for us. We're going to go to some of your super chats here and see what people are saying. Terry, wasn't this the same trend last season? No, I wouldn't say this is the same for Tottenham as last year. And the reason that I say that is because last season they were not playing. The football wasn't anywhere near as good. There is signs here of a very good team being developed. But as I said earlier, and I stand by it again, game management is key. And this is where Postecoglou's learning on the job. He may be experienced, but he's never managed any. It's the best league in the world, the most competitive league in the world. You can't do what he did today. You can't go out hell for leather for 45 minutes straight and play at 1,000,000 miles an hour if you don't get the goals, because you'll kill yourselves. You have to be a little bit more reserved at times. Terry, did you see our back line? There was literally no centre back. Yes, I literally enjoyed the game. We played really well, but the Bentancur injury was a big loss for us. We just need depth. Look, depth is absolutely key. I think you're right. I believe that, as I've already said, if you had better players out there today, I don't think the lack of game management would have been as big an issue. You may have killed the game off earlier. But the game management element needs to be discussed because it will trip you up at times. Jurgen Klopp adjusted it and changed his game management as he got more settled into the Premier League. And I think Postecoglou has got to do it as well. Levy is right. They have their Tottenham back. It's what Jonathan says here. 3 L's in a row. We have our Tottenham back, mate, is what Anthony has got to say to us here. I called this from the outset, either to injuries or the league adjusting. The Spurs would start to struggle. I have them finishing 5th. Look, I still think they can finish above Aston Villa. You know, they will get some of these players back. There's no doubt. And I don't think this is all doom and gloom for Tottenham, but it demonstrates what a lot of Spurs fans have said. You know, we have a brand new fresh manager. We're at the beginning of a rebuild, and we have a relatively weak squad when there's injuries. And I think a lot of those things have come to fruition in the last few days. City, West Ham, then Newcastle, the cliff has come. Well, look, if they go through those games without a win, and I can't imagine Spurs going 6 games without a win, but they could go 4. They could go 4 defeats on the bounce. And, you know, Newcastle, if they win their next game, would go above them. If they lose Tottenham, you know, Brighton could potentially catch them in the next couple of games. Heaven forbid Man United win today and then win again and end up finishing. United actually play Newcastle next after we play Everton, so I doubt it. But that's going to be the worst thing for Tottenham from a feel-good factor, as they suddenly have teams like Man United who have been disgustingly bad this year, breathing down their necks potentially. Villa getting Champions League football for sure. Emery too good. Look, I to a degree, yes, but I think if Postecoglou was smarter today and would have said to his players, look, attack, 10 minutes, take a breather. For 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Attack, take a breather. Attack. They could have maintained what they did in the first 45 to the 90 minutes, and I think they would have beaten Villa. That's got to be worked on. Again, for a team riddled with injuries and lost their all-time goal scorer, I don't care what people say about our collapse. I see a lot of promise for the future. Look, I agree. I think there is promise there for the future. There's no doubt about it. But what Spurs fans need to do is not go down this line of, we've got our club back. I said that was a mistake when you did it, because you know what your owners are like. You know what Daniel Levy is like, and you need to keep your feet metaphorically firmly placed on their Gregory, mate. That's what you got to do. A great hat trick from Son. If only he knew the offside rule. Yeah, look, a couple of them you couldn't really blame him for, but the Villa line also needs to be praised. Villa kept their line perfect. All teams have injuries, Jerome. We've had many. Well, Man United got 11 out still. I don't really have much sympathy for anyone. We've got like 11 out and no one lets us use that as an excuse, but I hear you. We're going to bring a panel out now to have their say. We've got young Daniel. We've got Harry here that will be coming on with us in a few moments' time. People, make sure like buttons have been smashed. Please make sure you get that done for us. Let's get this past 1,000 likes. Whether your team won today or not, support the Football Terrace if you could do that. We've got young Daniel and Harry here at the moment. Welcome back to the show, gents. Dan, another disappointing result after taking the lead. Give me your thoughts, mate.
Well, first half, we looked like prime Barcelona. It was honestly amazing to see. With all these injuries, with all these suspensions, and we're still able to dominate a team like Aston Villa that people keep going on about, like there's this great team. They're really not, though. They are good, but they're not like going to get Champions League, like people are saying. What Aston Villa did tonight was smart, but it doesn't show how good they are at football. They targeted Bentancur, and you can see that he did it on purpose. He was not even looking for a ball. It was 100% a red card. Matty Cash got away with it. But I will say, I'll put my hands up, and we were poor in front of goal in that first half. It should have been more. It should have been more. We should have scored more. And at the end of the day, we can only blame it on ourselves for not taking advantage of the opportunities that we had in the first half.
I understand that, Harry. Do you echo that? Was this the case of you just not finishing your dinner, or do you feel that maybe the team burned out?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, quite a few of the misses came from early on as well, so it wouldn't even be just burning out as well. I just think there's. I know I'm very vocal a lot of times, but today is another time where I've seen the light. I'll admit, I'll put my hands up and say maybe I got a bit excited. I was waiting for Kate to come here to still sit here and argue against what she said about Lascelles, though. What a goal! It's not started in over 2 years or something like that. Comes in, scores a belter. But apart from that, I'm really upset today, to be honest. And top four, hopefully. I don't think we're going to win the league anymore. Aston Villa, a good side. Ollie Watkins, quality striker. You know, it's one of them things. Look at the amount of injuries we have, the amount of suspensions we have. We haven't got European football. We haven't got the old Carling Cup. All we've got is the FA Cup and this. All the other teams in the top six have got European football, and they're still managing to beat us. We lose against City next week. That's 4 losses in a row. You know, the buildings crumble down very quickly, Terry.
It has, and we know you've got injuries, but that isn't what damaged you per se today. I mean, you had all the opportunities in the world to kill the game off. Poor defending for their first goal, and then in the second half, you look like you lost your legs. You weren't getting back into shape. Yeah. You weren't being hard to break down, but you were doing that in the first half. So is that a personnel issue or the strategy of the manager and team?
Well, I mean, potentially Bentancur getting injured. I personally think that most of the players probably crapped themselves a bit and thought, bloody hell, it's just come out. It's been gone since February. He's come in. And I think it's a mentality thing as well. You know, once they scored their first goal, that's the same crumbling mentality that happened against Chelsea. You know, I just think I thought the first start of the season, you saw how excited I was to see this team gel together. And so many of them gone. Basuma, what a player. Sarr, Romero was gone, obviously he's suspended. Van der Ven. If that was United and you look at how many big game players you could be missing, your team would completely change around. And I just think some of them haven't got the mentality. You know what I mean? So
I hear you on that. We're obviously going to, I don't know what happened to young Daniel. We're going to go to some of these super chats that have come in here. This is all teams have injured. So we've already done that one here. Easy to dissect. They were clinical whilst we were missing countless chances. Martinez pulling off wonder saves, or we're offside 24/7. RIP Terry Venables. Yeah, of course, massive respect to Terry Venables after passed about 80 years old today. Injuries and suspensions are a result of the system. What do you make of that? Because obviously your manager makes your players work and run hard. He's made them very aggressive. So are these injuries and suspensions? Because again, at Man United, to add clarity to this, a lot of people are blaming the way he's working them and training them and making them run. We are covering a lot of ground. So why we're getting all these injuries? Is this to blame on Postecoglou?
I mean, the Premier League is a top level of fitness, you know. Them players are getting paid to keep up consistently with the dynamics of the formations and stuff they're playing and the sort of intensity of it. Do I think it's 100% to blame? No, there is potential for that, some of the players, but you know, I don't even think Ange should have started Bentancur today. I think he should have just come on. it's just risky. You know what I mean? Now he's probably going to be out for ages as well. I don't know. I don't know. I just want to say as well. People are saying about everyone else hiding, but I'm here holding my hands up. I was the worst of the bunch saying we were going to win the league. Everyone was laughing at me. You were laughing at everyone was laughing at me. And I'm here saying right now, I'm not scared of next weekend. Do you know what I mean? I've seen us beat City before. We could do it, but
Do you think even with all these injuries and suspensions and everything else, you'll have enough to go to the Etihad? Do you have belief you'll go to the Etihad and win?
I don't want to say yes because I genuinely don't believe it. I think we could get draw. You know, we're their bogey team. We've always been their bogey team for as long as their oil money's been in, realistically. But I don't know. I'm not with the same energy I'm normally at because I don't have much belief in the next few games. We've got Newcastle as well after City. It's a very difficult run we're going through at the moment, and you can see as a result of all the injuries and stuff like that, we're struggling massively. I'd like to see us give a good game against City, don't get me wrong, but I'm not convinced, Terry. You know, I don't know where everyone else is. I mean, this is a time where I think we should sort of come together and face reality, as I have. But
well, this is the thing. Like when you came out and said we're going to win the league, look, a lot of people laughed. My feeling was just very much it's right at the start of a rebuild, and there's so many other good teams. It coming together where you guys clicked and were perfect, barely got an injury, and you were able to jump over Liverpool, jump over Arsenal, jump over City. All those things aligning at the same time made it very difficult for me to believe. If it was like it was maybe 2 years ago, where you've only got one really good team and then everybody else, then maybe it would make a little bit more sense. Jerome's here with us now as well. Jerome, what was your take on today, man? I know you put a few super chats in, which we'll thank you for, but you're quite proud of the direction that Spurs are going in.
Yeah, definitely. Look, to me, this is a team in a rebuild. We just like that. But the way the football we are playing, I'm very proud to see. I'm very, very proud to see the way we are playing. The team is riddled with injury. We lost our greatest goal scorer. Everybody thought we were going down, like really down the flaming bowl when the Premier League got started. For us to be fighting for top four, mate, I would be biting your hand for this at the start of the season, because no one would be predicting where we would be. To be the top of the league of 10 games, nobody would have predicted this. Okay, so it's just I'm not having any big thing for this season. No big expectation or anything. I don't care where we finish. I don't care how we finish. But all I can see is the football is very exciting. Okay? It's not just because of, like, yes, we lost 3 games in a row. That's all right. It's going to happen. We lose our best 11. This is what's going to happen. We're just lacking depth. But those players are showing they have belief in Postecoglou. And belief is all that they need. That's all they need to show. We might even be going 3, 4, 5, 6 games losing. Doesn't matter. Once we get our team back again, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. It means in January, all we ask the owners is if they invest in this man, he might do something special next season. Not now, not this season, or maybe in 2-3 seasons, but he will do something special for this team. And I believe he will. So that's all I can say to Tottenham fans is just be patient.
Can I just say one thing, bro? Just sorry, Terry. So one thing I was guilty of at the start, and I remember, was that I said that belief will get us where we need. I said that. I held my hands up. Everyone called me deluded. Every single person. You're so deluded, bro. Why? Because belief can't get you somewhere. You need like literal things to happen. And I said earlier, I think I've seen the light. Like I genuinely think something has shown me that my delusions have, given me, it's put me where I am today in terms of what people say and stuff. And I want to just say to what you said, bro, I don't think belief is gonna save us this season. I genuinely don't see it. I think we need real change. I think we need luck, but what is luck? If I go buy a lottery ticket, am I going to become a millionaire tomorrow? I don't know, but I just don't. I get what you're saying, but I just don't think belief is going to save us this season. It's a nice thought, But there's a difference between being positive, optimistic, and realistic. I was way too positive and optimistic, but the clouds outside there are grey, bro. They're not looking bright out there.
Look, Harry, the thing is, to me, you have your opinion, right? You're allowed to say your opinion. You're allowed to say, look, at the start, you believe we could have won the league. It's your opinion, man. You're allowed to say it, okay? I'm not like Kate or Alan. I'm not going here to be bashing you and telling you, oh, how about winning the league now? It's your belief. You're allowed to say it, okay? But the thing is, the reality is, yes, we never was in a title race. We never were going to win the league. It's nothing like that. We just have to know that this team is in a rebuild. And that's all it matters is if like we can finish in European somewhere to finish in Europe, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great season. Top 4 or anything is going to be even more amazing. That's what we should be looking at.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you on that. Della Spurs is here with us. So what was your take on today, mate?
Disappointing game, really. I mean, obviously, I think we created enough chances to win this game. I think it was just a matter of us putting the ball.
Bro, your microphone's really crackly.
I'm sorry.
There's loads of interference on your microphone, my bro. I don't know what it is. It's like really crackly as you speak. Try loading out and coming back in, and we'll see what it does, my bro. Sorry, try coming back in to see us in a minute. This year, Chaos is here saying that these injuries are beyond the joke. Yeah, you definitely have a lot. Spurs' title challenge ends in November. That's so Spursy. Also joined now by Egal on the show as well. Egal, what was your take on Spurs today? And of course, these 3 defeats on the bounce.
Unlucky! I told you guys this is what's gonna happen when you get a situation where it rains, it pours. I'm not talking about the injuries. I'm talking about Son obviously having 3 goals ruled offside. He needs to fix that up. This is a guy who's clinical. He's gonna score those goals. He just needs to stay on side. And Terry, if you remember, me and Will Stewart had a little argument on the terrace. I think a month ago, and I told him that you would lose all 3 of your next coming games, and now that's 2 out of those 3, the next one being the Manchester City game. So I do think you guys are going to lose your next game. You haven't picked up a point in November yet, and I don't think you will pick up a single point in the month of November. When is the next game? Is it in December or is it?
No. Yeah, probably
December,
in December.
1st of
Yeah,
December.
so you've gone this whole month with no points. Ange Postecoglou is going to have to find solutions. Today, his decision was to play 4 fullbacks. So you guys became fullback FC tonight, and I honestly don't think that's a good solution. You guys need to trust in your youngsters. If you have youngsters in the academy that are center backs, play actual center backs, play players in their rightful position. I know he has an injury problem right now, and he needs to figure out what he can do. But Ange Postecoglou is trying to find solutions, and it's not working. When things were going well for you guys, I was telling you a lot of things were going in your favor, hence why you guys were playing so well. And right now, not only you guys were creating the chances today, but you're just continuously getting yourselves offside and a little bit unlucky with your finishing. This could have been a 4 or 5 goal thriller. But also, we got to give a shout out to Aston Villa. They're 4th in the table ahead of you guys. You guys are now, 5th in the Premier League table? It's funny how quickly 1 month can take. You guys went from 1st to 4th and then 5th in like a matter of 3 weeks.
Bro, do you dream about Tottenham? I said this the other week, yeah?
No, the thing is, Harry, I actually come on here. I come on here and I give smoke to Manchester United. Ask Terry. I give smoke to Liverpool. Ask Terry. I give smoke to Chelsea. You don't even have to ask Terry about that one. And then when it comes to Tottenham, it's pretty straightforward. Come on here to give you guys smoke, or else no one's gonna hold you guys.
Fine.
You're just obsessed, bro.
That's fine.
You're not obsessed. We watch football.
No, it's fine. Let him.
If we lose
That's
the game,
okay.
I expect you to come on.
Egal, it's fine. That's fine.
Long story short, tell me if I'm
come
lying.
and give the smoke.
Tell me if I'm lying. You had injuries. We told you guys your team is thin. You already knew this. Some of you guys, like you yourself, was dreaming about a title. It's funny how in 3 weeks that title hopes is gone. now you're lucky if you're getting. Now you're lucky if you stay in top 4 for the rest of the season.
Wait. Are you going to win the? Are you going to win the title?
Yeah, I think we will.
Are you going to win it? Yes, you will. Yep. Good.
Well, the thing is,
That's
we
all right.
have
No,
we
no,
actually
it's
have a
okay.
right to say that.
That's
You don't.
fine.
So
Yes, of course, you have the right to say that. You have the right to say it because you
but it's not
actually
about
you're
Arsenal today.
supposed
Stop
to be
trying to defend.
you're supposed to be the second best team in the league, right? So okay, let's see.
And what are you
Let's see
supposed
how
to
you
be?
go. Let's see how you go by January, like last season. Best team in the league. We're gonna win the league. We can say we're gonna win the league since what, November? You said you're gonna win the league, and then what happened? You bottled it. That's fine, man. It's like you can come here and like give
Got
as
caught
much
now,
smoke
innit?
as you want,
Let's be
give
real.
all the things you want, but we all know Arsenal is gonna bottle the league again
You want to know something?
by
This is not
January.
about Arsenal. This is about Tottenham
But
losing at home
you're
to Aston
coming,
Villa.
well,
Stop
you're coming
deflecting.
here
Once
giving
again,
us
put
smoke
me
and
back on the screen,
everything.
Terry,
But the
please.
thing is,
This guy's deflecting too
your
much.
team
We
is the
have to
biggest
talk about
bottling
one
team.
second. We have to talk about Ange Postecoglou, the fraud who continues to fool
Bro,
you
bro,
guys.
give him the
Yes,
season at
yes, you
least.
guys are
What
playing
fraud?
attacking football.
How
Yes, you
is
guys
he
are
a
playing
fraud?
attacking football.
Oh my
You've gone
How
from
is-
one extreme to another. You went from a defensive manager to now a progressive manager. You guys are more excited, more happy, but you guys are no more in control of these games than you were under the previous managers. The previous managers, you weren't scoring as much chances, you weren't getting as many chances, but in these games, you're giving up so many chances. Maybe it's because of your defense. I'll give you guys a break there. It's because your defense is all over the place and you have a bunch of injuries. But even in that case, before you had these injuries, I felt like you guys were giving away more chances than majority of these other top 6 teams. Yes, you guys were scoring goals, but it's kamikaze in defense at this moment in time due to the injuries, and he needs to find a way to rein it back defensively. I think you guys have more issues defensively than you did under the previous managers, and even then, you guys were not that good.
Of course, we do
Bro, look
have
at how many
more
injuries we
issues
have.
defensively.
Look at how
We
many
have no
chances you
Use
missed.
defense.
this.
Or
Have you
Aston
actually
Villa
seen
today.
how many players
Aston
they
Villa
use?
today could have scored 5 goals. You guys yourself, lucky you couldn't get past 2 goals
Bro, we could have
because you
scored
kept
like
getting
7
offside.
more, bro.
But the reality is
Bro.
you gave up too many chances, and if you play like this for the remainder of the season, it's going to hurt you.
Oh!
Did they score?
Oh,
Manchester United scored, did we?
yeah, but my
Was it a
God,
brace?
Nacho has just done a Wayne Rooney overhead kick. The ball got
Jesus.
crossed
Oh,
in from
man.
the right hand side from the low, and oh my God, Garnacho!
Goal of the
What
season,
a
man.
goal! What a goal! Oh my God! Oh my word! That was out of this world! Wow! Wow!
Just
I was
love
watching
the
it
reaction
again,
there, Terry.
it was a long ball play to Rashford, who looks like he might be offside.
Oh, no.
Delo's onside, but the ball get crossed in. Oh my God, what a goal. It's identical to Rooney's. Please don't be
That's mad.
offside.
I've just seen that. That's mad. That.
It's like a carbon copy of Wayne Rooney's. Maybe even better because it's even further away. Is it off his foot? It's off it looks like it. Yeah, off the foot. Oh my goodness.
Oh, what a goal, man. Oh, Jesus.
Oh
It
my
has to be.
days.
It has to be a goal. It can't be offside. If it's offside, Jesus, it's gonna be.
Peace out, Terry. You guys have
Oh,
yourself a
man.
good one.
All right,
Yeah,
it
bye.
stands. It's got it
Yeah.
stands. It's only because I saw one angle and I'm a little bit, oh my word. Sorry, I know it's a Spurs stream, but my team just
No, man.
Shows
That's
how
fine.
relevant we are
What
now.
a
Do you know what I
goal.
mean?
It's
What a
fine.
goal.
It's fine. It's
Garnacho, goal of the
Goal
season.
of the season. Yeah, that's goal of the season. What a goal. What a goal, man.
Rooney's overhead kick was voted as the greatest goal ever in Premier League history. That's just wow. That was and it's
What a goal.
that's better than Rooney's. It was further out. Oh my God. Anyway. Della Spurs, is your mic working okay now? Let's see.
I believe it should be. I changed out
Yes,
the mic.
there we
so
go.
it should be better.
There we go, my bro. Yes, that's perfect. Yeah, what do you want to say, bro?
Yeah, I just believe today we couldn't put our chances away. I think the biggest thing for our defense, obviously, with having a left back, kind of sitting in as the center back, it doesn't really help. But I think the game was winnable, and I think that's the biggest disappointment for Spurs fans. I think the game was in our control at one point, especially in that first half. We let the goal in right before halftime, and I think the biggest thing, I know everybody keeps saying game management. I don't think the game was managed incorrectly by Postecoglou or the players. I just believe that, and we've seen it in the past couple of games before, it's our focus after we just score. how can we keep the ball out of the net after we just score? How do we I guess focus in harder on making sure that we just keep the ball in our possession, if not just try to keep the ball at the back of the net, especially after we score, especially going into halftime. I think that just killed a lot of the momentum. And then with Aston Villa coming back and scoring out of the half, I mean, yeah, it's just disappointment all around. But kind of like what our brothers here were echoing. I mean, I think there's some good positives from this team. Obviously, with our first choice players out to play this well, create as many chances as we have, I think there's positives in a sense that I think we can be competitive. You know, in all these games that Madison's going to be out, that Van de Ven's going to be out. I think we can still be competitive.
I agree. And listen, and this is what I was saying in the beginning of the video. I think what Ange is doing footballing wise is amazing. I've got time for it. But today was more about game management, because I think you guys burned out physically the longer that game went on, and you need to learn to manage that a bit more. I agree. There's some more super chats here. This is from a Chelsea fan, SK. This says Spurs bottled the title by November and soon to be Europe bottled by January, February. This is the history of Tottenham's downfall, started as by us as usual. Spursy.
Obsessed.
Coming from a Chelsea fan, that's priceless, man.
Oh, they are obsessed with us.
This is to you, Harry. So this guy got smacked hard by sobriety and reality.
Oh, I'm too hungover today, man. I'm trying to allow the beers a bit.
Do you guys think there's any chance that Postecoglou is Bielsa 2.0?
No, because our defense was playing well before we had these injuries. I don't understand why he's being called Bielsa if our defense was playing well before. Once these players come back, our defense will improve. But I mean, at the moment, you guys obviously saw we're playing with a left back in the back line. So I don't know, why we're going to be expected to have these clean sheet type of performances. I mean, that's just what's going to happen with our depth right now.
Yeah, and we lost Van de Ven, which has been immense for us for the whole start of the season. So just seeing the collapse of the backline already with Van de Ven gone. So that's.
I hear you on that. My glasses Spurs tie can hold that. Mr. Glasses, not my glasses. My dyslexia kicked in there. He's talking about
another guy. Says, bro, he's thinking about me when he comes off the stream. Just these people that are saying this, they are thinking about me when they come off the stream. Do you think I'm
certainly are?
I am thinking about them, bro.
I want to say a big thank you to all of you, all of my super chatters. We are live after Everton versus Man United, so please make sure you are all tuning in. Until next time, everybody, look after yourselves. Take care. Goodbye. God bless, and I'll see you all again soon.